Our next speaker, number 2, is Dilisa. Her pathway is Dynamic Leadership, Level 3. Focus on the positive, which will be 5 to 7 minutes. Her speech title is Letter to EX. She will talk about gratitude for all the times sent in a letter. Listen in and be inspired to write your own letters to loved ones, current or past. Please welcome Dilisa.
Can you hear me now? Thank you, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. It's an honor, and I'm so happy and grateful to be here to share these thoughts with you. Over the last few years, we've all thought, whether we wanted to or not, about death and about how our loved ones might die or did die. And with that realization comes, for me at least, a really sad feeling if they died and I felt like we weren't complete. Like there was a conversation we didn't have, or there was something I never told them, and now they're dead. I can't tell them except talking to the air. So after a couple of my ex-boyfriends died in these last couple of years, I thought, I wonder if Doug's still alive. So I looked up Doug on the internet. I couldn't find him anywhere. And then I found his sister's phone number. Now, this is a man I dated in the 1980s. I found his sister's phone number and left her a message. Before she called me back, I wrote this letter. Let me read it to you. November 2022. Dear Doug, recently friends have passed away without me having a chance to tell them how I appreciated them. So I'm sending this letter to you. I hope this finds you healthy and fulfilled. When I think back on adventures I've experienced in life, the times with you seem fun, silly, satisfying, and astounding. Such great memories. I recall falling completely upside down between two boats and your strong hands pulling me up from certain disaster. I recall downwind sailing and watching marmots scurry on rocks in a small passage. I recall sailing to Ketchikan from Seattle with 2 dinghies, the one you gave away and then the one that you kept with dandelion wine. I recall many simple meals cooked on the wood stove. I can still hear the orcas that we drifted with that day in my mind, and the terrifying screech of the sandhill crane. I vividly remember the cloud of mosquitoes that we could hear and see coming toward us as you yelled, "Pull the anchor, pull the anchor." We were so young then. I found a way to relax, to be at peace while we were sailing that is not possible now in the current days of constant connectivity and cell phones. We truly couldn't talk to anyone unless we stopped to use a phone or sent a letter. I remember telling you to slow down when we got to land after 6 weeks and we were borrowing someone's truck. Everything was whizzing by so fast. We were going 15 miles an hour. I'm still in touch with Lushong and John, who we met after they sailed to Port Townsend from New Zealand on their little boat. It was 23 feet long, as I recall. They're back in New Zealand now. They split up right after sailing for 3 years together. He lives off-grid, growing vegetables and animals, and she lives in the city of Auckland behind her award-winning architect-designed home in a little tiny mother-in-law cottage she built for herself. She's 80 now, and she has an interesting boyfriend who lives a couple hours away. They get together and love to go on trips. I wonder how those trees are doing that we planted on the hill in Hoquiam. I bet they're a nice forest now. I read recently about a guy who holds the world's record of planting trees. He planted 23,060 trees in 24 hours. And wow, I thought we planned it a lot. Anyway, Doug, thank you for your time and attention and all the adventures that we had. The only 2 bear encounters I ever had were with you. The only eagle I ever saw swimming to shore because the fish it caught was too big to fly was with you. The only time I ever watched young eagles learning how to fish was with you. And the only time I ever rowed a boat at night and saw the efflorescence behind the wake and under the oars was with you. I thank you. Be well, dear Lisa.